Welcome back to another episode of Retro Fox House, and today I have a special treat for you. We're going to look at this Warner home video edition of Auntie Mame. This is a series, A Night at the Movies, released by Warner Home Videos. This is special. It has snippets, as you can see here. Apparently, they try to release a movie theater experience. That's why, hence the series name, Night at the Movies, where they would show the movie along with a classic Looney Tunes cartoon that was released theatrically along with the movie, and also they would have newsreel highlights and previews of coming attractions that also showed along with the movie. This is actually a series released by Warner Home Videos on VHS and beta, and they did this while they were transitioning from book boxes to these clamshells. Now, gotta be honest with you, I haven't seen any Warner book boxes. I've seen the CBS Fox and the MGM big boxes. I just not the Warner one. So hopefully, as going out there in the wild looking for these tapes, hopefully I come across one of those. That'd be really cool to find. But anyways, aside from that, speaking of the book boxes, only the first three in the series was released in book box. The rest were clamshells. And so apparently Warner Brothers used the clamshell until 1986. Apparently after 86, they started using the slip covers, slip boxes, whatever you want to call them. These particular movies, they weren't re-released until 1990 when they were reprinted and released in a slipcover, but without the extras that they came in. The 1954, 56, and 57 movies were released in 82. 59 through 63 was released in 1983. And the 55 and 58, this one, was released in 1984. And what makes these movies even more special is that the A Night at the Movies intro, each tape had a special one made. So each one has a different one with a variation of the Warner Brothers logo, and the numbers track back from like 2000 all the way back to whatever the year indicates. So for instance, in this one, it's 1958. And I'm going to have a list for you guys. I'm going to list out the 10 movies that were released, and I'm going to indicate which ones were book boxes and which ones were clamshells. And apparently only 2 of them were released as a double tape. This one, Auntie Mame, and I think PT 109 were released in double tape because apparently the movie was already long. So along with the special features and all that, it just made the whole thing even longer. So without further ado, let's take a look at the intro, the snippet, and I'm only going to show the newsreel because I don't want to get flagged down by Warner Brothers or Looney Tunes for showing the cartoon. So we're only going to get to see that. So let's go ahead and watch it.
That this is election day in the Soviet is incidental. No change in the Supreme Soviet is anticipated by the people's mandate. But the top man in Russia, Red Party boss Nikita S. Khrushchev, makes his own revision. Following the balloting at a session of the Soviet Parliament, the verdict is da, yes, for Khrushchev's elevation to premier. In simple language, it means he's invested with a power comparable to that of Joseph Stalin. The former premier, Nikolai Bulganin, he resigned quietly. What could he say? Rebirth of a virtual total dictatorship made him expendable. For the fourth time since the war, general elections in Yugoslavia. Only the Communist Party is represented on the ballot, and more than 11 million Yugoslavs are returning President Tito to office. The Marshal and Mrs. Tito vote in the early morning hours. Together with Tito, some 1,800 deputies are elected to the federal and provincial assembly. The royal yacht Britannia glides toward Amsterdam with Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip. Queen Juliana and her daughter extend the welcome, the first time a reigning British monarch has paid an official visit to the Netherlands. A unique vignette, two ruling queens side by side, symbolizing the goodwill felt by their Western European nations. They ride to the palace in the heart of the city. And then the two royal families appear on the palace balcony to receive the cheers of the Dutch people. Good neighbors get together in Amsterdam. The Academy Award show at the Pantages in Hollywood. Oscars for the type of performances which back the slogan, "Get more out of life, go out to a movie." A great audience sees Filmland's own star-studded extravaganza. Dramatic, suspenseful, heartwarming. Here, an Oscar to Red Buttons from Lana Turner for the best performance by an actor in a supporting role. And sharing honors with Buttons is a lovely actress from Japan, Miyoshi Umiki. She receives her statuette from Anthony Quinn and gratefully accepts the recognition as the year's best supporting actress. The Best Picture Award goes to The Bridge on the River Kwai. Gene Simmons accepts from Cary Grant the Best Actor Award on behalf of Alec Guinness, who starred in that film. John Wayne makes this exciting announcement.
Joanne Woodward.
Joanne Woodward, almost overcome with emotion, accepts the coveted Oscar for Best Performance by an Actress.
I can only say I've been daydreaming about this since I was 9 years old. I thank you very much. And thanks most of all to Nunley for having more faith in me than I think anybody could have. Thank you.
You're in the Army Now gets a rock and roll beat with the appearance among the recruits at Fort Chaffee, Arkansas of the #1 rock and roller himself, Elvis, Private Elvis. Clothes make the man, be he civilian or military, particularly military. And so Private Presley, already indoctrinated with an Army hairdo, becomes acclimated at the other end. The wealthy inductee is cut down to $78 a month Army pay. But Elvis is not the only loser. Experts figure Uncle Sam will lose $500,000 in taxes from the top salaried performer. As the transformation takes place and Elvis emerges as a serviceman, some 55 members of the press are present to record the event when Elvis switches to a new beat. Up, 2, 3, 4. East-West Golden Gloves finals in New York's Madison Square Garden. Chicago's Willie Moran, white trunks on the defensive as New York's William Pickett laces in with a whirlwind attack. These amateurs really do battle in these bouts sponsored by the News Welfare Association. Pickett pouring on the pressure. The New Yorker blazing away with all his 147 pounds. Moran can't weather the barrage. Pickett wins by a TKO. Now Chicago's Dan Hodge, light trunks, and New York's Charlie Hood mix for the heavyweight title. Hood connects and Hodge bowls over backwards, but he rolls right up on his feet again. A rugged battler, he was a member of the Olympic wrestling teams in 52 and 56. And right now it looks like he should have stayed in the mat game the way Hood is hounding him. But Hodge can take it, and he's loaded with power. Hodge opens up, and those mitts are loaded with TNT. Hood goes down. He struggles to get back into the fight, but he's out. Chicago's Dan Hodge, the former Olympic wrestler, wins by a KO. Hodge comes over to cheer up Hood. Good sportsmanship is always the winner in these amateur bouts.